Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm trying to learn to talk a little slower for these intros like you guys asked, but today I got a few mods I know you guys will most likely love, and maybe some that you might have missed in November. And also a guide on how to install Pandora engine, considering someone asked me to show that in my previous video, and I didn't feel like making it a separate video considering it takes like 30 seconds to do, depending on your download speed for Nexus, which can sometimes limit your speed to even 1.5 megabytes per second. But if you end up enjoying this video, make sure to hit that like button down below, and if you enjoy it a lot, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and also don't forget to endorse mod authors so that we can keep mods free. And also if you end up downloading them, if you don't, then you don't have to endorse. Well, other than that, let's dive right in. The first mod up today is called Northman Armor Mashup. From the looks of it, this uses Sons of Skyrim Guards armor from Nord War. I believe the Stormcloak armor variant for the helmet at least, and some parts for the body. And for the cloth version, it uses Highlander armor from Fuse, which is on their Patreon, not on Nexus. I'm not entirely sure why, but it is 100% free. This mod, as you can see, adds a, to my surprise, male only armor in 2024, and that is something we might not see ever again. And it also comes with multiple pieces that you can mix, such as 2 different helmet types and different armor types. But I mean, the differences really are just cosmetic. They all have the same stats. And that is around Dragonbone level stats, but they do require the Ebony Smithing perk to make instead. While we're on the topic of armor, I figured this next mod would fit this topic pretty well. This mod is called Nirn Necessities, coming with dozens of new accessories that you can obtain yourself by crafting it, or from vendors, or you'll see certain NPCs wearing them in your Skyrim. Every item distributed is selected in installation, so you can choose not to have a certain item, but honestly, they all look pretty amazing and fit Skyrim theme, so I can't see a reason why you wouldn't want these new bags in your Skyrim, or a new lamp added to carriages around Skyrim, such as soldier couriers having their own special bag to carry around equipment, or just regular NPCs, namely thief encounters in your random encounters for Skyrim, having new backpacks that can be looted, and each one will look different from the other one because there is multiple variants, and it can appear on pretty much anyone. But the best part is that all these items added by this mod have HDT SMP physics. Well, that might not be great for people with lower NPCs, but it does look great. But then again, some people are okay with playing on 20 FPS for some reason. Maybe it's just a walking simulator at that point. But the best part about this mod for me is the magical backpacks that are added into Skyrim. Not only do they have multiple variants in different colors, all move with your character, and have a sort of magical particle effect that makes it stand out from the rest of the items. I don't think there is a green version, so of course the blue one is the best one. Now moving on to a new animation mod for your Skyrim. This mod is called Ezio's Legacy Sword Moveset. This mod does exactly as provided in the name. These animations are extremely smooth and pair so well into Skyrim, even though they are modeled after Assassin's Creed. They aren't ripped there, they're completely remade from scratch. But there's no teleporting or annoying graphics when you clip into a bandit, which will inevitably happen when you use Attack Modern Combat Overhaul. But the most you will have to deal with when using this is that you can't combo a power attack into this. Maybe it was just me, but once you attack, you have to either finish that combo or start blocking. Your character kind of goes into a recovery state where they stand back up into the new idol also. And yes, that's also included with this mod. It is a pretty simple animation mod, but it does look amazing and is not super flashy like a Power Ranger. Moving on to the next mod, this mod is called Detail Landscapes, the Reach All-in-One. This is a continuation combining all their Reach mods, which they happened to mass release while I wasn't paying attention, and they put it all into one mod. So now you'll see newly added floor that is already in your Skyrim. They will just be placed all throughout the Reach, which they previously weren't. And because it's already all in Skyrim, this mod is less than 1 kilobyte. It's just using base object swapper to place new things where they weren't before. This next one, which is called Cathedral 3D Rocks, is a completely different story though. It's not so simple. It uses Cathedral 3D assets to overhaul the small pebbles around Skyrim, which, fun fact, they are considered grass. Like if you look at the file name, it's literally grass. But they will use whatever texture you have going in your Skyrim and just make it bigger and 3D so it looks like real rocks. So if you think that mine doesn't look that good because maybe they're too big, there is already a patch on Nexus for making the rocks smaller. That's kind of the great part about Skyrim modding. Most of us think alike. and that's why Ostin was made. And yes, it pretty much touches every small rock in Skyrim now. It's pretty dynamic. Up next, a simple replacer for the beds in High Hrothgar. This mod is called Reclusive Respite. I'm starting to think those mod authors are intentionally making hard titles for me to say, because I got tongue-tied on that a few times a while back. But this mod adds a pillow and a blanket to the beds in High Hrothgar, leaving the bed frame alone. And I also have the color variance version, so you're going to see different colors like red and blue, and even green. This one though is more simple than the other replacers from this mod author, but simple is sometimes better. This one is not so simple. It's a replacer for the Dunmer beds around Skyrim and Solstheim. This mod is called Redoran Reverie, a Dunmer bed replacer. This is meant to be an add-on for the furniture replacer of the same name, which is Redoran Reverie, and that's why they have similar names. And this is the more fancy variant of Peasant Dreams, which I showcased in a previous video, adding a completely new bed frame to them and new sheet textures. This mod has completely transformed these beds from a simple inn and a bed that anybody can sleep in to something pretty extravagant. That's also why there is two base object swapper version, one for color variants and then just simple bed replacers for everyone, but then there's also ones that make the bed only appear in fancy interiors, like the Manor in Solstheim, and Peasant Dreams will overhaul the other beds instead. Moving on to a massive texture overhaul. This new mod is called Tomatoes Markarth and Dwemer Ruins. This is the 4K version because this is a showcase, but you can choose between the 2K and 1K version under the optional. But honestly, I feel like the 4K is the perfect size because if you know Markarth, then you know a lot of the textures are stretched and become pixelated. And this pretty much overhauled every single texture in Markarth, making it seem like an overgrown ruin, making it live up to its name, adding new moss textures to the wall and grass in between the walkways on the road. And of course the interiors were done as well. Surprisingly, they look amazing, and also surprisingly the interiors have a darker gray color than the exterior. I'm not sure how realistic that is, but it seems realistic for some reason. But then again, I'm not going to Google how stone decays over time. I just feel like that's correct. The 4K version is 2 GB when packed and close to 3 when you unpack it when you install it. So if you don't have all the space for it or the RAM for 4K, I would advise to just go with the 2K version, because as long as you don't play in first person with the field of view of 60, you should be perfectly fine with that. And now for the guide, I'll timestamp this, but this is Pandora Engine, the Nemesis engine killer. In my words, it adds a simple mod that's easy to install, and it's a new modding tool for everyone. It launches 20 times faster than what you'll get on Nemesis, and it works the same. To install this mod, all you have to do is use the auto installer if you have ML2 or Vortex, but for those that just do it manually, just install it like any other mod. You want to set this up the exact same way as you did Nemesis engine. It really just kind of depends on your Nexus download speed, but once you have it downloaded, all you need to do is install this, and I kind of still had Nemesis installed at this point because I was testing another mod, but you can just disable it easily and enable Pandora. You do not want them both enabled at the same time because you will have issues. I also don't have Nexus Premium because it went up to $10 and I didn't want to pay that a month. So I wanted to showcase the process for everyone, but for the experienced modders, you'll probably skip this part anyway. This is for the people that I know will ask questions, even though there's a guide for it right here. But once you have it installed, you want to grab the link from the top of File Explorer. For Mod Organizer, you can just right click Pandora, then hit Open in Explore, because you're going to want to use that to make it easier to find Pandora and then turn it into an executable, rather than going through everything yourself, because that can be a little tedious setting these up. But that's literally it. It's so simple. You copy the link into Mod Organizer menu, hit Apply, and then you launch Pandora. There's also a button at the top left for my lazy people so that they can pretty much click on all the mods for you, and literally there's no empty mods there like Nemesis. There's ones you had to avoid, but this one only uses the mods that is in your mod list, and then once you hit launch, it literally runs in 1 second, maybe 3, maybe 12 if you have a lot of sex mods, but other than that, it's pretty simple. This is definitely a must-have mod. If I don't say that about anything else, this is definitely a one you want. Up next, an overhaul for the Broken Fang Cave. In vanilla, it's a pretty small, cramped place, but with this new mod, which is called Broken Fang. By honestly, I think it's Snoz, but it could be Snooze. This is why I don't say mod authors' names when I'm recording. But as you can see, it completely overhauls this interior. It doesn't touch the exterior, and it doesn't transform it into a massive dungeon like some other mods, which is also great. But it does make this dungeon feel closer to a vampire lair rather than just an empty cave that they found. In this showcase, I'm currently using the Lux patch provided at the time of this mod's release. It might get edited a little by the time this video releases, but it does look pretty well, especially considering I didn't reorder my list. No flickering lights or enemies falling through the floor. And that's pretty much all I can ask for when I mod Skyrim. But that was it for today, guys. This video is mainly meant as an installation guide for Pandora to show how simple it is and to show how great it is, because it's literally a click and play at this point. But some great mods came out, so make sure you endorse those mod authors if you end up downloading any. But for right now, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace and love, guys.